Hello, hello, hello. I am just eating my tortellini soup, pasta soup. It is quite good. I'm very hungry. So, anyway, I guess now it is time for art. As Jay-Z knows, it's weird seeing you in normal clothes. Is this normal clothes? I don't know if people would really count this as the most normal clothes in the world. What do I usually wear if not normal clothes? Oh, I've been staring at you and Lolita all night. I want Lolita so bad. Like, I wish I could afford it. Oh my god. So, hello. How are you doing today? I told you about my plans for tonight, so that's gonna keep me pretty busy, so I only have time to do today's Figuary on stream today. And hopefully it will calm my heart, because like I'm really anxious about doing it because I care about people. It'll help you by getting it out of your head. Yeah, I think that's the key. And I don't know, there's just like so much I want to say, but I feel like that'll be just too much at some point. Excuse me. So, I don't know, I'll sleep on it for like an hour, and then I'll do it, and then... Yo, you be streaming, suh, dude. Feels so cringy. Today is hard. Oh no. Oh, is today the moving model? Oh my god, I'm pretty scared about that. Not gonna lie, that's a little spooky. But let us get started. Where is it? Figuary. There is the page. Oh, see, actually, so you did it on time today. Very proud. 26. Okay, there it is. Yay. Oh no! Oh no, I'm really curious what they're gonna say about moving figures, right? Because I remember last year they didn't say anything about it, and then when people started drawing it, like, they freaked out and they didn't know what to do. And I was like, they're probably like exaggerating. But then I did it and I freaked out and I didn't know what to do. I was like, what do I do? And so they were kind of doing these motions in a loop, like, so I would just like pick one of the poses and then wait until they got back into it and then draw a little bit more. And then when they got back into it, I would draw a little bit more. But I know some people just like paused the video in order to draw like the still pose. And I know some people did like animations. So I am really curious as to what Kenzo is going to say about like how we should be thinking about this. All right, let's pull up Twitch so I can actually look at chat. Figuary. Hello. Yep, today is Figuary time. Let's see. Let's set this all up. Kenzo, yeah, you're dead. Oh boy. Oh, oops. Why do I open the wrong window when I need things? Let's see. Ah, there's the correct window. I was doing it for a while, but I couldn't conform to it. Interesting. Yeah, I really enjoy doing Figuary because drawing figures and people is really my main goal in art. So like, I'm just like, great, I get to do exactly what I'm trying to do better, which is learn how to draw figures and then practice it every day.
Guys, my name's Kenzo. This is Love Life Drawing. I hope you're excited for today's session. It's mostly a normal session with normal poses, but the last pose, the model's moving. And that's tough. That is difficult. So why would we do this to you guys? We just had the clothing challenge, which was tough. And now we have a moving model. Last year we had a moving model and there was a lot of controversy around that. But it's not just because we're being mean that we're throwing this in here. There are really good reasons to add this exercise into Figuary, and I'm going to explain those in a second. But before I do, I wanted to mention a couple of other challenges about this session, as if it wasn't hard enough.
Hello, baby blue.
But I think I've mentioned before, but a muscular physique I found a little bit more difficult to capture, in a quick gesture. And I think the reason for that might be that there's more going on there. There's more kind of features because of all the muscles and stuff. And so it's easier to get caught up in details. And you can't do that, as we know, in a quick drawing. And then the other reason maybe is because you might get caught up in, or you might accidentally put in some symmetrical curves in the drawing. And we know that that's not great for the sense of movement and gesture. And actually, our musculature generally isn't symmetrical. Like it looks like the bicep and the tricep are just two symmetrical curves, like a pair of brackets, but they're not. They're a little bit offset against each other. So I wanted to mention a few little quick pointers to hopefully help deal with this muscular physique, and then we'll talk about the moving pose as well. So the first thing is to find the asymmetry. Find curves that flow into each other, are offset against each other, and avoid symmetrical curves. The second thing is, I've seen it before when a guy has like clear-cut abs, people will draw those, focus on the abs themselves and the little bumps of the abs. But still what we care about is the bigger form of the torso. What's the bigger shapes? Rather than all the little intricacy like a grid of muscles of the abs, let's still try and look for and focus on the bigger shapes that we're seeing. And then the third thing is to still simplify the marks and try and use C-shaped curves, S-shaped curves, and straight lines. So with that said, what is going on with this moving figure? Why are we doing this? Well, one reason is, if you ever want to be able to go out into the real world and sketch people like in the park or something, it's nice to have this ability to draw people that are moving. So we can practice that a little bit. But more important than that, this exercise is going to be helpful to push us beyond kind of copying what we see in like a 2D image that we see and just trying to map out exactly what we're seeing, and thinking about the form that we're looking at in 3D, interpreting that into our drawing. Because we're going to be looking at this model from the forms of this model move around, and we'll see it from a few different angles. Every time that we look up, we're going to see the forms from different angles, and that's going to help us to get a three-dimensional understanding of it, and then we can use that to translate, into our drawing. And that is a more difficult skill. I think it's kind of a next step, but it is more advanced and more difficult. And if it's going to be, overwhelming and not as fun because it's too difficult, I would say just pause the pose and draw it like a normal static pose. The main, we have to keep it fun.
I would just like to say, I have no idea what's going on with this picture, like with this drawing. Can y'all see it? Like, let me see. On the stream. Oh, it's like being covered up by all the chat and stuff. Let me turn that off for a sec. How do I do that? Chat box and then me. Okay. What in the hell is going on with the drawing so far?
I'm not going to keep practicing. So no problem with pausing it if you want to pause it. So with that said, let's look at how to tackle this moving pose. So I've seen this exercise done a few different ways, like with the life model kind of dancing around the room, and then the artist drawing whatever curves they see when their eyes flick up to observe the model. And then the next time they look at the model's in a different place doing something different, and they'll just draw whatever curves they see. And they don't end up with a cohesive figure drawing at the end. They get a kind of pattern of gestural curves on the paper, which looks kind of fun, and it's a good exercise for loosening up. I don't think we can really do that with this particular pose because he's just moving back and forth between the same poses. So if we did that, we'd end up with a lot of lines in roughly the same place, and it could just get messy. So instead, I think we should aim to draw the figure at one end of the motion or the other, or both. That's what Mako did. I think that's more advanced to do both ends. I think it's fine to just aim to draw one end. Either way, what matters is that
he's drawing him like at this side with this foot on the ball, and then at this side with that foot on the ball. That's just like, what?
When you look at the figure, don't just wait for them to get to the part of the motion that you're drawing and then, observe that and then just try and draw that little bit of the pose. Observe the forms of their figure throughout the motion, like I was saying earlier, and use that understanding of their figure to inform your drawing. Like if you're drawing their chest and you're drawing it when it's over here, but when you look back at the model, he's moving it around like this. Look at that chest as it moves and understand the shape of it, and then use that understanding to inform your drawing. It's tough. I'm not going to say that that's easy, but that's kind of the part of the exercise that I think is most beneficial. Now, because Mako did both ends of the motion, she said it was useful to use this little fold in the cloth to kind of anchor both poses too, or both ends of the pose too, because that's staying still and he's moving back and forth between them. And she played it through twice, and the first round she just mapped out a very simple stick man to get the pose down, and then on the second round she started to build up the shapes. Now, one last thing that I wanted to mention though, is that something that she mentioned to me and something that I 100% agree with is one of the hardest things about this is not so much the movement of the model, it's the pose itself is a little bit straight on and a little bit symmetrical, and the motion is quite symmetrical. And we've looked before at how in a pose we kind of want a twist or a fold or something dynamic to set off our gesture and build our movement in our drawing around. So even though he's moving in the pose, there's not much movement, like not much gesture that we can bring into our drawing easily. And I think that's one of the hardest things about this pose. And so that's another challenge. And to overcome that, I'm just going to reiterate those things I mentioned.
What the hell are zipper abs?
Find the asymmetry in his musculature. You'll find movement and flow and gesture in the curves of his physique that way. And use C curves and S curves and straight lines. Simplify as much as you can. This is a tough one, guys. So please don't feel bad if it goes completely wrong. Let's share our experiences in the community, on our website or on Instagram. Hopefully we can go into this one with a sort of playful attitude, because it is tough, but it's a fun exercise, and you know what? We're all in it together. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a little bit more with the moving pose that we're going to look at. I actually think tomorrow's one is easier, so hopefully that will entice you back for one more session of moving poses, and then after that we'll be back to normal life drawing. So have a lot of fun with it, guys, and don't forget our wonderful course, figure drawing course.
That sounds interesting. Let me look that up. Zipper abs. For anyone just joining me, I am about to draw from Figuary Day 26. If you are interested in drawing along with me, I'm about to drop the link for where you can find it. Be warned, the models are nude. So if you scroll down to the this is not working. Rude. All right, let's go on to twitch.com. Anyway, you will go onto there and then scroll down until day 16 and then click on the Croquis Cafe video. There we go. So zipper abs. Wow. From Men's Journal. Why are my abs asymmetrical? Wow, those look kind of wild. Huh. It's a genetic thing. It's neat, huh? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really interesting. It looks pretty crazy. Actually, I just thought of an idea. What do you say, Jay-Z? After my Figuary, I'll read out my script for my video so far, and y'all can critique me and ask questions before I rewrite the script and make it for real. Because I don't really care about if people watch my video or anything. All I want is to get the information. All I want is for the information to get out there and do it in the best way possible. Okay, cool. So I have that to look forward to after today's Figuary drawing session. Let's get started. I really like this model. It's not gonna be a normal video of mine, but I hope that everyone gets something useful out of it. Ooh. Let's get started. Yep, gotta keep up the drawings no matter what. I'm pretty excited. 4 days left, 4 drawing sessions left, and I'm done with Figuary every day. If I can do these 4, I will have done it every day. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back just for that. I've never been this consistent with art in my life, and it feels really good because I'm improving. Woo.
I'm Larry Withers, and this is day 26 of Figuary 2020.
Yes, Jay-Z, what is up? What are we doing for next? Oh shit, I don't even know. Maybe I'll think about that after I make the thing tonight.
Figure Drawing Month. Last year on day 10 of Figuary, we made viewers angry when
Pass the
we posted
test
a video of our model Meeking
Wait,
moving.
oh my god.
Figuary 2020, Figure Drawing Month. Last year on day 10 of Figuary, we made viewers angry when we posted a video of our model Meeking moving.
That's so
I
funny.
accept full responsibility for not forewarning our audience and vowed at that time never again to have a video of a moving figure. However, when we were planning Figuary 2020, Kenzo suggested that we revisit the idea. So, today on the 5-minute pose, our model Anderson will be passing a soccer ball from foot to foot. This is a repetitious movement, not fast, and hopefully won't throw you off. Today's Love Life drawing video will touch upon rendering the figure in motion. To see that video, follow the link below. Remember to post your drawings to Instagram, #Figuary2020. We love to see what you're doing. Enjoy today's drawing session, and we'll meet back here again tomorrow.
You know what? Maybe I should just record the video on stream and then post that. Big brain plays. And then I won't have to spend extra time with editing. Ooh. I guess I'll see. He has got so much muscle. He is so freaking buff. Yeah, maybe I should do 50 heads because what? I think I got started on that, but then I got distracted by something. Now that I feel like, you know, pretty damn confident with bodies. Like, heads are my main obstacle to coherent characters and stuff. Seems like a fun challenge. Let's find some head refs. Yeah, that would be fun. And then we can do like, I don't know. What's a reasonable thing? A head a day? Or maybe like an amount of head constructions per day? I don't know. I've never really looked into studying heads very well. So if anyone knows how to study heads effectively, I am willing to and able to listen. Check out the Loomis Method. The Ides of March. Eyes of March. I kind of love that. That's so funny. Loomis Method, very helpful. I have tried the Loomis Method in the past. It has never really clicked with me quite well. I've tried to follow many different tutorials. I think I just was not ready at the time, and that it was too advanced of a technique for me. I didn't understand that it wasn't supposed to be like an exact mathematical technique, even though it looks that way, right? The point is to like train yourself so that you can see the errors and stuff. And I didn't get it. But I think I get it a little bit more now. What about you make a Pinterest board with 50 different heads? And then people can do them in any order and at any amount a day, but the challenge would be to draw the heads from the board so we're all drawing the same heads. Like the normal 50 head challenge doesn't like, what, it's by Ahmed Aldoori, I think? Doesn't he just have like a Pinterest board with like however many heads? But I think that would be fun and make it more personal. Like we can post our own favorite heads to draw that we think would be interesting for both ourselves to study and for like, you know, other people, you know, of our little art circle to study. I think that would be really cute. 'Cause like we have more personal ownership of it. Big muscle things. Man, this guy's just fucking ripped. What's it like to have so much muscle on your body? Jesus. Hello? Rogue Chenny? Thank you so much for following. Welcome to the mythology where talent is a myth. My notifications still are not working properly and I apologize deeply. And I don't really know how to fix it. I'm sorry. It seems to work properly for like a second and then it doesn't, and then like I don't even know where to start diagnosing the problem. It's heavy. Oh, it wouldn't feel heavy though, right? Because you got all this muscle. I hope I'm capturing like his maleness correctly. I feel like whenever I draw figures, I tend to like exaggerate things in a very female way. It does when you run. But having specific heads to draw, it'd be similar to Figuary where everyone's doing the same thing. Yeah, that would be fun. Although I don't really see many people posting in the monthly challenge channel. I feel very lonely in there. Ahmed is my husbando. He is super amazing. It needs to be stopped before he leeches all the art energy from the world. Okay, how am I gonna deal with this moving pose? Oh boy. Oh god. Oh no. What in the flip-a-doodle? Maybe I'll just draw this one side, because like, I don't think I can handle this. No calm, only panic. Alright. Let's just get started. Just get started drawing. And if it's wrong, I can fix it. And if it's not, then great. Yay. I'm sorry, I see some, like, discussion going on. I'll be there in a jiff. This boy's so muscly. Damn. Okay. Okay, I think that's what I can do. What's going on? Who do you like to watch on here? She watches me. Whoa, Jay-Z flexing on us. Someone she aspires to be, like, in their style. I do have an Imgur of, like, my art inspirations. But I don't know. I feel like Sakimi-chan and WLOP. I love them. I'll be lurking. I've actually been neglecting my post studies and I keep getting immersed in meeting cool people in the art community. Oh, hello. That's really relatable. Okay, so I ended up drawing this pose. This is actually a pose in the middle of the back and forth. Scruffy Moogle. The notification worked. Welcome to the mythology where talent is a myth. Boop. She's talking to us. Jay-Z. Lol. Okay. So, if y'all don't mind, I would like to go through my video script. I only do this. I don't know. I feel really weird about this. I only dab for those who like do things for me, like follow and subscribe. Wink. Luca Scarlett, hello. So here is my script. I am very sorry. I have not finished writing it properly, but I hope that this gets my message across. And oh my god, my heart is beating. Like, why am I so nervous for this? I'm like, I need to be stopped. This happened yesterday too when I was trying to talk to people. Like, my stomach is just turning. And okay, anyway, I'll just get into it. Okay. Jay-Z, give me your support. Like, I'm scared. Okay, anyway, I guess the chat thing won't work on here. Okay, great. So I wrote a script up. Please let me know what y'all think. If you have any questions, any suggestions, I would love to hear them. I don't know. I only do this because I care, okay? I don't know why. I want to cry. Anyway. Okay. So I like to have an important. I'm gonna change from art to a different topic because I am not arting anymore. Just chatting. I'm gonna say chatting. Great. That's a very descriptive title. Okay. So I'd like to have an important discussion with you all today about the recent outbreak of COVID-19, the disease caused by SARS-CoV-2. The SARS-CoV-2 virus, formerly known as the novel coronavirus or nCoV. First off, why am I talking about this now? I'm bringing this up now because I care about the well-being of the people that I love and care about, and that includes my wonderful viewers here. Yesterday, I reached out to my friends and those who are close to me and discovered that many of them were not caught up on the latest events that have been unfolding regarding the situation. Hello, I am reading the script for my next video, which I am very nervous to do. It's not every day that I'll make a video about current events like this. In fact, I don't think I've ever talked about it in my videos before, since most things will only affect my corner of the world. However, today I think this information pertains to every person who is watching this video. Let's start off with some numbers. There are currently 3,256 cases of COVID-19 that we know of outside of China. And I haven't finished writing this part of the script yet, but there are some pretty concerning outbreaks happening in northern Italy, in South Korea, and Iran, regarding COVID-19. And also lots of cases have been reported from people who have traveled from Italy and Iran and South Korea, which means that this is spreading, and I'm very concerned about that. We got 400 infected. Where are you? Korea or Italy or I don't know. I'm like shaking. Are you in Northern Italy? That's so spooky. Okay, so what are the symptoms of COVID-19? They are very flu-like. I'm sorry, I didn't finish writing this part of the script either, but like usually people get a fever, a cough, shortness of breath. Of course, most people are completely fine, right? About 80% have mild symptoms. About 20%, however, need serious medical care. And about 4% need like stuff like ventilators and ICU treatment in order to live. Why should I care? If you're immune compromised or have a pre-existing condition, I don't have to tell you why you should be worried. However, if you're young, fit, and healthy, not catching it and spreading it is important to protect those who aren't as fit as you. You don't want to be part of the population making the outbreak more widespread in your area. You may also want to think about what you will need in your home if you aren't able to go outside for a week or more because either you are ill or because others around you might be. Speaking off of my own personal experience, last year, around this time, I was in the hospital for a week because I was very sick. But before I went to the hospital, my joints were hurting really badly, and I had sores all over my body and on the bottom of my feet. And if I had had medication inside my house and food and stuff, I wouldn't have had to leave. But instead, like a normally 10-minute walk took me an hour or more, like over an hour of pain to get to the pharmacy and back because I didn't want to drive because it hurt too badly and I didn't want to crash into anyone. And so like, it's important to have stuff on hand just in case. Yeah, I didn't have any friends or family to ask, and it was a really stressful time. Second, we don't know how widespread the infection is within the US. And sorry for this being a very US-centric part of the video, but that's where I live and this is what I know about. Please look up information on how your local authorities have been responding to the outbreak. As of writing this script, on February 26, 2020, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have tested a total of 445 people for SARS-CoV-2. They are also only allowing people who have been to China within the past 14 days or have had contact with a known case to be tested. There were plans to start testing more people in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, and Seattle. However, since this was announced on February 14th, a week and a half ago, the program has still not been implemented due to faulty tests the CDC had sent out. And they still have not sent out new tests for these places. This means that many cases might be more mild, which is why, and for these mild cases, people will not seek medical attention and they will never be tested and we will never know that they had the disease. Which part of that is a good thing because that means in most people it's not a very serious illness, but that also means that they could be out there spreading it to other people and eventually it'll reach someone who it will affect very badly. And I just want to see everyone be safe and healthy, and I want to do my part. Outside of concerns about catching or spreading the disease, there are other concerns to be worried about that may affect you whether or not an outbreak occurs near you. The first, most visible thing is that personal protective equipment such as masks, gloves, and cleaning supplies such as Lysol and bleach have been disappearing from store shelves. Ever since I've heard about this about a month ago, I've been like, every time I went to the grocery store, I would just look at the mask section to see if there were any, and I haven't seen one in a store like ever since a month ago. The second thing that isn't quite visible yet is that there will be a shortage of other goods exported from China. We all know about how everything is made in China, but we'll really learn about the wide-reaching effects of this soon. The gist of it is that since China cannot manufacture at full capacity, many goods are either not being built or the firms are switching to more expensive local vendors. For example, at Morton Industry, which supplies tubes and metal to many other manufacturers, the cost of their tooling and fixtures used to shape metal that it previously imported from China they're now paying 30% more for that from like a local supplier. And they're just going to charge their customers that much more because like they can't afford to just eat that cost. And that is going to ripple throughout all these products because local sourcing is more expensive. That's why they outsourced everything to China. Did you know that China is responsible for 80% of the world's garlic supply and 2/3 of the garlic imported into the US? It's already having an impact in Bangladesh, where prices have gone up about 20 to 40%. Coca-Cola has even warned about potential impacts to their diet soda because artificial sweeteners are being sourced from China. And also, the United States no longer produces many medications or antibiotics, which are from China. And if people can't get their hands on them and they're sick, then that could have very devastating effects. And also, many medical supplies are also made in China, which are not being made now and shipped over here. And so, if things get worse and an outbreak does occur near you, your city or area might get shut down and travel might be limited in or out of the area. As some of you know, like in northern Italy, some places are being completely shut down of traffic in and out. Is the virus deadlier for children? I've never heard about that. No. It seems that this virus is not having very bad effects on children, which is like very good. It is not affecting children worse as far as we can tell. All in all, there may be many consequences that we can't even foresee now due to this event. So what can I do about this? The most important thing to do is to stay informed about what's happening both in your area and across the world. We are more connected than ever, as you can see by the wide-reaching economic effects caused by a disruption to a single country, as well as all the exported cases by travelers and cruise ships and other travel like that. Just be sure to take everything with a grain of salt and remember what motivations someone might have when they're telling you something. Try to gather as many facts as you can from cited sources and make your own conclusions. Practically, the most important things to prevent catching and spreading the disease are washing your hands often and correctly. Personally, I wash my hands every time I come into my apartment from the outside, every time after I drive to work, and all the usual times, such as after using the restroom, before and after cooking, and before eating. Hand sanitizer is the second best thing if you can't wash your hands. But like if I just went to the grocery store and I had to touch the cart, I'll use my hand sanitizer and then wash my hands when I get home. On top of this, try not to touch your face, your mouth, your nose, your eyes with your hands. Is super hard. I've been trying to very unsuccessfully for the past few weeks, but it's always good to be aware. Also, just try not to go out around large crowds. When you can, don't stand next to someone who's very sick. If you are sick yourself, please wear a mask to prevent the spread of like the germs from your coughs and sneezes, cough into your elbow, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, stay informed and just do like the normal shit to not get sick. If you want to take it a step further, I'd highly recommend preparing some extra supplies at home. Whether an outbreak occurs near you or panic about one does, lots of people will be rushing to the stores to buy supplies, whether they'll need them or not. This is how I see things. If an outbreak does occur near you, you don't want to have to go out into a crowded supermarket to buy food and other necessities. If an outbreak doesn't happen, but people around you start to panic, there might be a shortage of goods anyway. Just because there's no disease around doesn't mean you stop needing food, water, toilet paper, dish soap, laundry detergent, and everything else. But you might not be able to get your hands on it if everyone freaks out and empties the shelves anyway. If nothing happens and life goes on as normal, then you can still use the food and medication and cleaning supplies and stuff just like you normally would. The things you should buy should be the things that you already use and will use eventually, that will last for a long time. For some resources on potential things to stock up on to prepare, I will leave some links in the description. As a starting point, I'd recommend a few weeks of shelf-stable food, some extra hand sanitizer and soap, cleaning supplies such as bleach, toilet paper, first aid supplies, and over-the-counter medications. Personally, I've stocked up on all those things, as well as some masks, gloves, shampoo and conditioner, toothpaste, Swiffer pads, tampons, and other period supplies. You don't want to go without that. Clothes detergent, dish soap, paper towels, multivitamins, my allergy medication, spices and broth cubes, and some electrolyte drink mix, right? If you get sick, you want to have those medications on hand. You want to have like rehydration drinks. These are all things that I usually wait to run out on before I restock in my apartment, that I use on a daily basis, and I would hate to be without if I didn't want to or couldn't go out to the store. I want to protect myself and my family and potentially be able to take care of others should they need anything like medication. How do I feel personally about the situation? I'm not worried about catching it and having a bad outcome because I myself am young and healthy and fit. I most likely will have a very mild reaction if I even do catch it. However, people around me are at a higher risk because someone in this apartment that I live with has had pneumonia before, and if they get pneumonia again, it would be a much worse effect on their lungs. And I'm really concerned about them. I'm concerned about my friends getting sick. I'm concerned about my roommates getting sick, and I don't want them to get sick. I don't want to not have food. I don't want to not have shampoo and conditioner. And if I can do something about it now by stocking up a little, it gives me peace of mind. What else? I wasn't in the script. I'm also worried about just not being able to get my hands on things that I want, such as dish soap and toilet paper. I guess it's not a necessity to live per se, but it's definitely nice to have. Finally, if worst does come to worst and Austin is completely shut off and quarantined like some places in China and Italy, at least I'll have some stuff to hold me over until the government reorganizes and like sets up ration drops or something. I'd encourage everyone to please keep this in your thoughts and make your own judgment on how seriously you want to take things. Again, I'm going to leave a document below with a good starting point for resources. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a safe, healthy, wonderful day. So that is my video. I'm not done with the script yet, as you can see. If there's any concerns, I would love to hear them. I would love to answer any questions in the video that I can. And I want to, because I'm shaking, because I honestly care so much about this. I texted all my friends yesterday, and I just want everyone to have things in case something goes down, if nothing happens, then I'm happy. I'm so happy if this has no effect on the world and everything's great. But if things do go badly, and someone doesn't have the medication they need, someone doesn't have enough food, if they're diabetic, they don't have the supplies because they didn't think about it, and I could have said something and helped them prepare, and I didn't, I would be really upset with myself. So yeah, I hope, I don't know how seriously everyone here takes it, but in the case that anything happens, I'd rather have all my daily luxuries and have enough food and water that I like, rather than not, right? It'll be a scarce resource in the future. I didn't read all the messages, but let me try to think about some of these. As someone with a compromised immune system and people in my life who are even worse than me with an immune system, I take it seriously. Right. I was thinking about Chinny. May her soul rest in peace. And I feel like she really proves that you don't have to be, old for something like this to be dangerous, right? Because isn't an outbreak inevitable or supposedly inevitable? Isn't that a good enough reason to prepare just in case? I don't want to speculate. That's why in my script I put no speculation, just my own thoughts. I have no idea how bad it's going to be or how bad it'll get. All I know is that the director of the CDC said to prepare for substantial changes, impacts to your life within the United States. Even I was watching Donald Trump's press conference earlier today, and he said that schools and businesses should definitely be reviewing their pandemic preparedness plans. And I think it's progressed to a point where I feel the need to let everybody know just in case. If an outbreak does happen, I want everyone to be prepared. I think it's containable. The governments just don't want an economic fall to happen. Is that really better? Right? If it can be contained, but they're not going to, that's still the same outcome, right? And I feel like people are underestimating the effects of an economic fallout. An economic fallout means people lose their jobs. People can't afford medical care for other things they need, right? Like, what if people lose their health insurance? What if people don't have the ability to go get cancer screening? Or what if they can't pay for their cancer treatment because the coronavirus causes all the countries to completely shut down their borders and have no travel between them in order to contain it? I am not advocating for anything, right? All I want is for us as individuals to be prepared. I have no idea, there's so much we still don't know about it. All I know is that it's been spreading quickly, and some countries have been taking it more seriously than others. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I don't know, I won't pretend to know what the truth is. All I can do is what I can, which is, proper, this safety, just trying to be clean, trying to clean my home, trying to stay away from sick people. They couldn't even contain it in China. I seriously doubt the US could do a better job unless they use more draconian methods like China tried. Weren't 3 labs starting to work on a vaccine already? They are definitely trying to work on a vaccine. But today at the US CDC press conference, they said that the earliest a vaccine could be possible is a year from now. And they're expecting a year to a year and a half. And they said that a vaccine will not be a factor in the near term. If it comes back as a second wave, then it definitely can play an impact. But even the US CDC says that the earliest it could possibly be manufactured for people to use is a year from now. China didn't want to contain it to begin with. Well, I will not speculate on China. China is its own thing. That's why I used numbers from the rest of the world. Because, I don't know, I feel like the situation in China doesn't really say much about the disease. They have... Also, don't forget that people who were said to be cured have had it come back and are still infectious. Right? In China, they are now quarantining people who are recovered for another 14 days because they tested positive after they were released. And they can only be released after 2 negative tests or something. So, I don't know. There's just a lot of weirdness happening. And, there's just so much we don't know, right? I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I have no idea how bad or good it'll be. It could be nothing, and I would love it for it to be nothing, because that means like not as many people will have to die as they already have, which is really sad. So many people have died already. Your face is bleeding. That's not good. Yeah, so many people have already died. And, you know, I'm young, fit, and healthy, so I don't have to worry for myself. But what if I get it and I pass it on to the nice old lady giving out samples at the grocery store and she can't fight it off as well? Yeah, I definitely don't want to claim any more expertise than I have, which is nothing. It's just like, you know, like even if I didn't care about anyone else in the entire world, I would still want to be prepared. Because I don't want to have to go without toilet paper. I don't want to have to go without like my shampoo and my conditioner and soap and like laundry detergent and all the nice things I have in my life. If everyone else buys them out and I don't have any, then I don't have any of these like luxuries, these little luxuries in life. So I'd rather have it and everything's fine so I can just use it up like normal. And rather than like all of a sudden, like 5 cases pop up in my area, all the grocery stores get emptied, or I have to fight against a crowd of people. And, you know, in a crowd, there's a bigger chance that someone might have it. And then I would just use water instead of toilet paper, lol. I feel like that's a personal choice. I was in the same hospital the first 2 infected people in the UK were being treated in while they were in there. Well, good luck, Jay-Z. Good luck to you. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that was okay? Maybe I should just like chop this up and upload it because, I mean, I guess I did say everything I wanted to say. Technically. I have references, I have citations for all my, for all the facts that I stated. So I will definitely post those as well. I have 3 of my friends have had a fever for 3 days now. What should I do? There's not much we can do, sadly. Right. I mean, you know, even if whatever they have, there's probably nothing you can do about it. All you can do is, you know, make sure they have water, medications, food, and keep yourself safe so you don't spread it to the people that you love and care about. I mean, I guess other than your friends, right? Take care of them and keep yourself safe so you can keep your family safe and those who live with you. I really would not recommend saying that because more people get the flu every year. We don't know how many people will get this COVID. And also, this does not replace the flu, right? You can still die of the flu and you can add the chance of, you know, getting a serious complication from this disease. It's not like if you get the flu, you don't get this and stuff like that. And plus, the death rate of the flu is definitely a lot lower than this new disease. Yeah, and it's not like you get one or the other. You could get both, and that would be really bad. Yeah, there was some dude, one of the early victims, one of the first victims to die outside of China. He had like COVID-19 and also strep and also like the flu at the same time. That poor guy must have been really suffering. We have a vaccine for the flu to help us fight it off. We don't have that for the new virus. I mean, there's just a lot of reasons why we can't compare COVID-19 to the common flu. One of them is that we have no herd immunity, right? Some of us have gotten the vaccine for the flu. I get a vaccine every year because I want to protect people in my community who have weaker immune systems, and I don't want to get sick myself, right? And we have a predictable number of people who get the flu every year. So therefore, all of our hospital systems and medical systems are built for that capacity. If we have, even the same amount of people getting this as get the flu, it will massively overwhelm the hospital systems. Like the 4% of people who get COVID who need ICU rooms, there will definitely not be enough for them. And also, lots of people need other medical treatment, right? Every day people have illness and sickness, and they won't be able to get help if there's so many people on the ventilators. Let's see, we don't have a vaccine for SARS and MERS, right? Okay, so SARS and MERS are in the same family as COVID-19, or I guess SARS-CoV-2. They're all coronaviruses. However, MERS is a disease that goes from like camels to humans, which is why, not as many people get it, because it was not as easy to spread as SARS. So now let's go to SARS. SARS is different from the new disease because it was only transmissible after you started showing symptoms. So as soon as someone started coughing or had symptoms, they would take them, quarantine them until they were better. When they didn't have any symptoms anymore, they would let them out. And that was the technique. For this new COVID-19, it is transmissible before symptoms show up. So someone can be walking around, if they got infected, they could be walking around just fine for a few days, spreading the disease before they start to get sick. After they start to get sick, it'll still be a few more days while they're transmissible until it gets bad enough that they want to go to the hospital, right? How many times have you gone to the hospital for like a cold or a flu? After it gets that bad, they've already been spreading it for many days. And that's the problem. I think you should add a bit to your script about the comparison with SARS and MERS. Sure, let me add that in. I guess I'll do a comparison to SARS and MERS as well as the common flu, because I feel like that is a concern that a lot of people have, right? Like, why should we be afraid of this and not the common flu? Well, several reasons, as I outlined, but you're right, I should add that to the script. Conspiracy? What's the conspiracy? I feel a bit weird answering these questions as a non-doctor, but please, definitely fact check this. Fact check everything I say before you believe it. It'll help put in perspective for people who don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. You're right. China's spreading the perfect virus because there are too many people on the earth. But then why would they spread it to their own people first? Wouldn't you just want to kill off everyone else? I don't know. I'm just saying. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around here. Freshly Salad has joined the mythology. Welcome to the mythology where talent is a myth. Boop. And the coronavirus may spread faster than SARS because of spreading without symptoms. Isn't China overpopulated as well? Yeah, but they use their overpopulation to fund their cheap labor, right? That's why everyone's manufacturing in China. If they have no more cheap labor, no more manufacturing advantage, no more trade and exports, right? China doesn't want that. They want all the other companies around the world to keep using cheap Chinese labor, and they can only get that because they have so many people. So I don't think they want to kill off their entire workforce, you know what I mean? And then start a war. I'm a Pokemon. Hi, what is that? Tentacruel? Hi, Tentacruel. So, okay, I feel a lot better now having said that, and I hope that some people are taking this a little bit more seriously than maybe you were before. Kill off the old people who no longer work? You see? That's a big brain play right there. And it's kind of spooky, right? Because, like, there's a huge population of elderly in many countries, especially Japan, because nobody's having kids. There's a lot of elderly people, which is why it's really concerning that there's, like, an outbreak happening in Japan. What's your fave Pokemon? Can't make me choose. I don't know. Should I go basic? Okay, my basic answer is Charmander. I haven't gotten out of my home in 1 week. That's spooky. Why? Is it for, like, COVID-19, or do you just not like to go outside? I won't last to old age, so I don't have to worry about anyone disposing of me. No! I'm traveling for 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks to prepare a myth before I bring the virus back to the States. Oh my god, where are you going? Don't tell me you're going to, like, China or something, because I'm not letting you back into the US. Australia. What's FLGI? Oh, Fiji. Okay, I'm just like Fulgi. Schools were closed, so I had no reason to get out, and friends are sick, so oh my god, like, my best wishes are with you. Like, wow. Good luck. And I hope you stay healthy and safe, and I hope your family and your friends are healthy and safe, because that is really spooky. And I think, you know, similar things might start to happen near me and near all of us. You know what's the most surprising thing? What's that? The major outbreak in Italy started where I was born. Oh, snap. I'm visiting Canada in November to visit my grandma. Well, good luck with that. Canada just halted flights from China, like, today or yesterday. So that's right. It's all your fault. New conspiracy time. Yeah, so, like, is there any other feedback on any ways I could improve my script? Because I want to make this video and have it come out, like, as soon as I can. Like, tonight, probably. Italian corruption gonna screw over the rest of Europe. Yeah, I mean, everyone's just, like, going back and forth all the time. There's been outbreaks in Germany, like 2 or more deaths in France. And, like, there's a new case in Switzerland and Spain. And I live in China? No. Thankfully, oh my god, I think I would be freaking out way more. No, I'm just a girl in Texas who's looking at the rest of the world, feeling a little bit scared. Now I'm wondering if anyone in our little community is from China. I don't know, China, like, isn't YouTube blocked in China? So how could they even watch my videos? Ooh. I think it's pretty good, covers most of the aspects of the epidemic. Great. So I'm planning on making that tonight. I'll add some stuff about how it compares to MERS, SARS, and the common flu. I watch a lot of Chinese YouTubers. VPN. Sure, that's true. My dad is always telling me about, like, what the new, like, VPNs are. Where I live is 100% safe for now. I love people in Missouri, Montana. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Well, I mean, the people around here say that we're 100% safe too, but, you know, Missouri. I love people in Missouri. Okay. I mean, even if you think you're 100% safe, I would definitely still stock up, just in case. But, of course, make your own decision on how much risk you're willing to take with your family and your personal safety. Is it true that the virus has less probability to spread in hot environments, but at the same time there are deaths in Iran? Is it even hot in Iran? I think there have been 12 official deaths in Iran so far. I don't know. There's speculation, right, about whether or not the heat will stop it. Singapore apparently is very humid and the temperatures are in the 80s and it's definitely spreading there. So take of that what you will. Well, I'm glad you feel safe. But again, like, I would stock up because if things go badly, you don't want to have to go outside. I mean, heat usually makes diseases develop faster. Actually, I think for this particular virus, it survives well at like lower temperatures and it'll get killed faster in higher temperatures. However, like, it can always spread, right? If someone coughs right in your face and you breathe in those particles. So, have you not played Plague Inc? That's right. Actually, I re-downloaded it like the other day and I played it and I got really spooked because all the news stories look so similar to the notifications in the game. Like all over the news, I see like so-and-so has reported their first case. So-and-so has reported the first case. So-and-so has reported their first case. This event is being postponed. So-and-so has closed their borders. And I'm like, I feel like someone's going to bomb us because we're in the middle of the US. What? Why? We bought 2 loaves of bread. Have I pleased my lord? I need to compare my achievements to you on Plague Inc. I just re-downloaded it, so I don't have my achievements. But it's okay. I'm going to 100% this bitch. Yeah, I played a lot of Plague Inc. back in the day. I might download it for PC. Maybe they tried to prepare us with that game, and we didn't listen. So tragic. I only played it once. I was bad. Yeah, you have to, like, there's a strat. Once you learn it, then, like, the game is easy. Basically, I agree that the situation is really concerning, but I'm also really concerned how Syria is bringing out racism, too. I mean, the only thing you can do about that is not be part of the racism, right? People are always going to be racist. People are always going to be shitty. People fucking suck. That hasn't changed, you know? Like, people have always been that way. People will always be that way. But the most important thing for you to do is keep yourself safe. I don't think we should, you know, care less about the virus because people might be using it as an excuse to be racist. One of my best friends is Asian. Gestures to myth. Me? So I get sad when I see people being racist. I'm so confused about this racism because where I live, people still go to Chinese restaurants, lol. We don't see a lot of Asians where I live, mostly just French Jews. I don't go outside very much. I've seen no discrimination or weird looks. So far away. Interesting. Yeah, I've seen a few Asian people wearing masks around campus, which is very interesting to see. The Chinatown streets here are empty. Yeah, I've seen that on the news about how Chinese businesses and stuff have been struggling because, you know, nobody wants to go visit those places. The racism is mostly being done online because people are too big of pussies to do it in person, but that doesn't make it any less shitty. I mean, that's true. You have a YouTube. Yes, I do. Hi. I've seen a couple people I know posting online about their experiences. Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's funny, though, because they still have to buy masks from Chinese vendors, whereas when I went to the Asian supermarket the other day, it was full of people. Interesting. People where I live like to live on the edge. Now, I've seen in America they're harassing Asians IRL. That's really shitty. That's really shitty. Like, I hate that people do that. And I do not advocate for any, like, racism or hateful actions. I definitely do not advocate for that at all. You don't need to hate on someone else to make yourself safe. I'm just putting it out there into the universe. Please don't yell at people. Don't pull off their masks. Don't assault them. Like, please do not. And like, I feel like I can trust you guys not to do that. I feel like the people in my audience are very nice, respectful people. But just in case that has to be said, please do not do that. I would not appreciate it if somebody like spit in my face or coughed on me or punched me for being Asian. Just weird because nobody stepped in or tried to stop it. It sucks. If I attack someone, it's because they hurt someone else. That's a murder scene, which makes me kind of sad, TBH. Right. I mean, personally, I don't think I would step into the middle of a fight as a young, weak, small girl. I think that would be a bad idea for my personal safety, and probably I won't make a difference anyway. Sadly, a lot of people won't step in regardless of who it is. I mean, right. Yeah, it's just, like, as a personal thing, I don't think I should step in. There's something wrong when they say black people can't get the virus. Who says that? I don't think that's true. I'm not a doctor. I don't know enough about doctoring things to disprove it, but I don't think that's true. I did it when I lived in the shelter and ended up pinning a coked up woman in the shelter to the wall until the cops arrived because she was choking my friend. Jesus. Hysteria scares me too. Not saying that being prepared like you're talking about, but there's still a lot of unknown creating extra anxieties, and panic isn't helpful. Right. Hysteria is also a huge threat to society. I completely agree with that. And I know that many places, right, everyone wants to make sure that hysteria doesn't take over their countries. They want to keep food on the shelves. They want to keep life going as normal. But that doesn't mean you can't be prepared. I can't do anything about people who are going hysterical and going crazy over this. All I can do is take my own anxiety over the unknown and put it into productive actions, such as warning my friends and family and lovely viewers about this, such as stocking up on some extra supplies, such as learning about how to cook my survival food and stuff, and keeping clean and safe. And I'm sorry I can't help everyone. I'm sorry that I can't help those who are going hysterical and crazy over this. There's nothing I can do about that, and it really sucks. But I see that it is a big problem, and I don't know what to do about it. There are things I just can't do anything about, and it makes me feel helpless and sad. But I can't. The hysteria will happen at some point if we don't have the progress soon, so calmly, gradually stocking up in the meantime will help protect you when it happens. What's crazy here is that no cashiers wear masks. Masks apparently don't do much, if anything. The thing that masks do is protect other people, right? If you are sick and if you are coughing and sneezing, then the mask will stop those droplets from going as far away from your face. And as we know about the virus, it can spread before someone has any symptoms. So the real way for this to work is if everybody wears masks, then there will be a much lower chance of anyone catching the virus because they're having a hard time, like spreading out the droplets everywhere. I felt bad for one of my friends because he's black and people say the N-word and think it's funny. What? Exactly, that's what I tell everyone I know. Right. And just because it's not completely effective doesn't mean that it's ineffective, right? If you would have breathed in a droplet and it got caught in your mask instead, then that's one opportunity that you've escaped to become infected. People care too much about prejudices and don't want to wear them. Good business for people who make masks, lol. I know. My mom told me not to wear a mask because she saw that video of a woman in New York who got assaulted while she was wearing a mask. And she said that she didn't want to trigger any, racial violence against me for wearing a mask. And I feel so sad that we live in a world where that's something I have to worry about. Yeah, I think if you're Asian and wear a mask, it could cause issues. And also, I don't think we're at the point where we need to wear masks because there is such a limited supply. We don't want to use it up all now when there's not as big of an issue. when we could wait until there might be more of an issue and then ration out our supplies. So I don't think it's too big of a problem. I just try to stay very safe and far away from people. You can't find any more masks here. Yeah, I've been looking in the grocery store and the pharmacy since a month ago. There haven't been any masks on the shelves ever since I started looking. If I wore a mask, I just get funny looks. I can just go visit Big Jamie and borrow one of her gas masks. But yeah, like, yeah, leave the supplies for those who really need it, I guess. Yeah, it really sucks for everyone who needs masks. Doctors, nurses, they're having trouble restocking some of their supplies. People who, like painters, welders, and people like that who need masks are also having trouble getting their hands on it. People on the front lines in China and the hospitals fighting the disease, they're having their trouble getting their hands on masks. It's a whole, not enough. The US has stockpiles for healthcare workers and stuff, I know. Yeah, I read about that yesterday, I think. They said they have 30 million masks, and they said they need at least 300 million, and they're having trouble sourcing more masks. I can't use your sandpaper, can't use, think about the painters. Yeah, exactly. This is definitely going to have a lot of wide-reaching economic effects that, and, these consequences that we don't even think of. Like, all these people who need masks for their occupation aren't able to get them. Masks for painters and stuff are different to the kinds that people wear for medical stuff. Well, you have the surgical mask, right? Like the blue and green ones. And those are what nurses use. On top of that, you have the stronger N95, N99, N100 masks, which are the stuff that painters and welders will use. And they're also more effective at filtering out the virus. And so people have just been clearing shelves, clearing stock of these masks. Where I live, they just wear dust masks. Yeah, I think those are probably the least effective against the virus. But, it's better than nothing, I suppose, right? I feel like a lot of things are better than nothing. And just because, it's, if something's better than nothing, I don't think people should be discouraging from using it just because it's not 100%, right? It's like saying that, I don't know, you shouldn't do chemo because it's not going to, work 100%. Well, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try, probably, right? We should have been always ready for something like this since at least Ebola. Well, I mean, somebody's been cutting our pandemic response team and the CDC funding and all sorts of public health funding for the past few years. So I'm guessing they just don't have enough staff or money to be prepared for something like this. Which is really unfortunate because it would make me feel better. Officials have been stressing the need to work on fighting coronaviruses since MERS. Dude, we should have been ready since 1920, lol. Do we know who the somebody is? Oh, we know who the somebody is. At least you're not getting put as an organ donor when you didn't say you want to. That's a problem. Oh, but politics and everything. I feel pretty frustrated. I was listening to the White House press conference earlier this evening, and our president said something to the effect, somebody asked him a question, and it said, are you regretting now cutting all the funding for public health research and preparedness and for the CDC and stuff? And he said no, because we have the best people in America. And whenever something like this comes up, it's easy to just call them back in whenever we need to. And that's concerning to me because you don't want to just react to things, right? You want to be able to proactively prevent these things from happening. I don't know. Just thinking about the USA not having free healthcare gives me a headache. Yeah, I went to the doctor a month ago to get my annual health checkup. And I got charged $200 for the stuff that I needed, which was annoying. I went to the hospital last year for a week and I got charged over $7,000 for that hospital stay. I just want the next Animal Crossing. Yeah, I heard about it. My friend pre-ordered it or something. And apparently people have been wanting to get tested for the coronavirus, for COVID-19. And somebody got tested for the flu and they got billed $1,800 for that. So that's also a concern of mine, that people aren't going to want to go into the doctor because who has the time and money to go to the doctor? Like, I have health insurance and I still paid thousands and thousands of dollars to stay in the hospital for 1 week. Someone in front of my house called an ambulance to get a test. That's pretty spooky. Does Italy have like a free healthcare thing? Is it just America that's fucked up like this? That's crazy. Well, that must be nice. Yeah, we don't have anything like that. That's crazy, those medical bills. Wow. Yeah, I'm really afraid for people who are not as privileged as I am, because even though I get these crazy bills, they're not, big enough to bankrupt me. My family has the money and I have the money to take care of it. But I know a lot of people definitely don't. And especially, the homeless population, they live in poor conditions, in very cramped quarters, and I'm afraid that they could get affected and definitely spread it to other people and not be able to go in for treatment. I got free healthcare, but I'm also being listed as an organ donor against my wishes by said healthcare. I wonder if they could, put on some better way to opt out of that. It feels inhuman. My friend in the background said, "You look fine." Fine? Hello, thank you. I can't imagine if you're homeless. Like, geez. Yeah, right? Like, you're right out there. Where do you go? I didn't even think about that, but now that I'm thinking about it, like in Wuhan, in China, when they shut everything down, do they have homeless people? And if so, where did they go? Like, where did they take them? I have no idea. My brain cannot compute. I don't know that much about China. Maybe they don't have homeless people there. I feel like I doubt that, though. That really sucks, yo. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let's look it up. Homeless. Maybe there's something out there that I didn't see. That's scary to think about. Yeah. So like by all, measures, I should be safe. There's no cases near me except for at the Air Force Base where they're quarantining people, but they should be under control, right? But I think this has the potential to move to a much scarier place. Goodbye, Psycho D. I think this has the potential to move to a scarier place. And if the disease doesn't get more serious, then panic could get serious, hysteria could get serious, and I just want you all to be prepared and happy and healthy, right? And, you know, I guess, like, I don't have a stake in your lives, right? I'm not going to get paid money based on how many of you survive. I just, I just want you guys to be happy. It would make me very upset if you guys were sick and not happy. So that's all I have to say about that. It comes so suddenly. Yeah, what did you think about it before, like, the cases actually started coming out? Did you think that you were safe? Or were you worried about it before, like, or were you not paying attention before some things actually came up in Italy? If I die, I'm taking you with me. Bitch, you're across the ocean. You're not taking me anywhere. Imagine if one of my friends or classmates got it. I'd probably have it too right now. Maybe, right? There's always a chance. There's always a chance you could have it, right? Because they think that you can have the disease for, 3 to 5 days, or up to, like, some estimates are going up to 27 days before you even know that you're sick. Like, I don't want to say that that's the fact because I don't know. Nobody knows. But it could be. And for part of that time, they're transmitting it to others. Or they could be. I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, right? That's the scariest part. There's so much that we don't know. But, like, all we can do is, do our best to keep us and our friends and family safe. And that's all I want for you guys. Just to be safe. And I want you to keep your family safe. I want you to keep your mom and your dad and your grandpa and your grandma and your aunts and uncles. I want you guys to be able to keep them all safe. And if they're not prepared and you are, then you're in the position to be able to help them. Like, I want you guys to be in that position where you can help others if they need to be, and not be the one that, like, needs help, and not be the one that's, like, fighting for those limited supplies if they do become limited. It's scary. The figures are so vague and so far apart. Like, what do we even know? That is scary. And it's hard to tell what's going on because everyone has an agenda with what they're saying. Some people are trying to sell magazines by saying that doomsday is coming. Other people are trying to say that it's not a big deal because they don't want the stock market to crash. And you don't know who's telling the truth. You don't know what they're saying and why, and how true it is. All you can do is try to look at the facts that are coming out right now and come to your own conclusion on how much risk you're willing to take for you and your family. And for me personally, that means stocking up on goods that I don't want to be without, right? I've actually bought a new cell phone to keep on, just to keep in my closet, because my phone is kind of falling apart, as you can see. It's like, really broken. And, if there's no more manufacturing for a while, then I don't want to not have a cell phone. So I ordered one just in case to keep away. I'll just draw anime titties until the world falls apart. Weird how when Ebola broke up, American mainstream media went nuts, but nothing really happened. Yeah, right. And that's why I'm really confused as to why the American media is not, like, going crazy over this. Right? Because, like, that confuses me. Because, doomsday headlines, they do sell papers. They get listeners and they get watchers. And so why is no one doing that, right? Why is no one doing that? I would expect that some channels would say that, like, it's a big deal and that we should be worried. And other ones would say, like, oh, they're just, like, being fear-mongering and you shouldn't care about it. But nobody's on the more, like, extreme side, which is personally puzzling to me, right? Because I'm like, yeah, like, if panic sells papers, then why is no one trying to do the panic thing? Hi, MC1000G. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about the current COVID-19 breakout. I'm just trying to get my own feelings out there. I'm trying to let everyone else be a little bit more informed, because this is something that I care about, because I care about all of you guys' safety and well-being. I'm not saying to panic. I hope that nobody panics about this. I've seen some accounts on Instagram saying millions will die. Right, but there's always people like that, talking like that, who are completely unverified and have no right to be saying anything, right? I'm looking at the experts in epidemiology. I'm looking at the doctors and what they think. I'm looking at the mainstream news media and seeing like what exactly they want the American public to know. And lately, at first, they all said like, it's not a big deal at all. It's like it's not even worse than, it's like, it's less dangerous than the flu because less people have died from it. And then all of a sudden, like yesterday and the day before, they started saying that like Americans should start preparing for major disruptions to their life. Today at the press conference, they said that everyone should be preparing for something to happen. And, that's pretty spooky when they've been all downplaying it for this entire time. And suddenly they're saying that, like, we need to start preparing, right? And I feel like that's my cue to help everyone else. It's all speculation and nobody really knows, right? But, they know more than us. These government officials, whatever they know, it's more than we know. And they're telling us to prepare, even though it is not in their best interest for an outbreak to occur, right? It is not in their interest to have mass panic. It is not in their interest for the stock market to crash. I think the most important thing is like watch what they do, not what they say, right? Like, China says that it's not a big deal, but they closed down like all their factories, their transportation hub, and they're locking people and welding people inside their doors. Then, maybe that's kind of serious. Nobody closes down cities just for the flu. The government dude who got the virus. Yes, the Iranian health guy. Let's see. Yeah, it says what? The Iran's deputy health minister tests positive as outbreak worsens. Yeah, so there's okay, so according to this post in the on the BBC that came out yesterday, this article, it says there's 95 cases so far in Iran and 15 deaths. Who knows who he spread it to? The Iranian government might be in trouble because of him. Dude, he was sweating during the conference. Think about how many people he touched and talked to. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. It could be nothing, or it could be really big, and we don't know, and I'd rather have things on hand than not. And I hope that doesn't make me sound crazy, and if it does, then please, I implore you to go look up your own sources and look up information about this. Like, I don't want you to take my word as the truth, because that is dangerous, right? I don't want you to listen to any one person as the truth. I just want to bring your attention to this topic, and I want you to have an awareness of this topic and to go and do your own research. Iran's healthcare must suck if he's the minister. Dude, those massive gatherings they have in Iran. That's why the death rate is so high there. Are you guys talking about Corona or Iran? It's going to cause issues. We're talking about Corona in Iran. Yeah, apparently they've been hiding numbers as well. I'm not going to speculate about that here because no matter what I think, nobody really knows at this point. I'm not going to talk about what I think about China's numbers or Iran's numbers. All I'm going to say is, like, what's been reported so far. And even just with being what's reported so far, it's pretty concerning. And I think they just found a new case in California that they can't trace back to anywhere. Right. In any outbreak, there's no way you're going to test 100% of people. So you have to assume that the real number of people that are infected is higher than the official number that they've tested as positive. And plus, apparently this test is only about like halfway accurate. People have been tested like 7 or 8 times before they tested positive. Bebekro has joined the mythology. Thank you so much for following. Welcome to the mythology where talent is a myth. Did you know Canada blame us killing 200 people? What are you talking about? Who's us? Yeah, when this blows over, I'm sure many people will have had it but never reported. Right. Because, again, how many people are going to go to the hospital when you think you just have a flu? Especially when the symptoms start as flu-like. Right. That's like concerning. Again, I hope nobody's like afraid after this. But if you do feel a little inkling of something, please put that, transfer that anxiety into something productive, like grabbing some more supplies next time you go out. That's definitely what I did. Like, I saw these things, I got pretty worried and concerned, and now I am stocked up and I feel relatively confident that I could stay inside for an amount of time should I need to. Did you know Canada blames us for killing 200 people? What are you talking about? When? What? Where? A lot of people, even when they have the flu, don't go to the hospital. Right. I mean, I've been sick with like some sort of seasonal illness many times. I wouldn't go to the hospital for it. Or even go to work. Right. In America, that's definitely part of the culture here, that you go to work no matter what. Even if you're sick. Even if you're a nurse and you're sick, you're supposed to still go to work. We don't really have an idea of like sick leave here. Some people just fight it even when it's not in their best interest. Well, I mean, they need money. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. If you don't work a day, you don't get paid for a day. Then your bills don't get paid and everything cascades. Or you lose your job and you have to find another one. Paycheck to paycheck. Bills don't get paid. I had a flu in December and I just suffered at home. Because Iran thought a Canadian plane was a US plane. Oh, and they shot it down? I don't really know what to do about that. I was not part of that decision. I'm just saying I did not have any hand in that. And I don't really know what to say to it. Did you hear about that infected woman who gave birth to a, I guess, not sick child? Yeah, I think, oh my God. I had no hand in shooting down any American or Canadian planes. I'm sorry that you think I'm important enough to do such things. But yeah, like there's been a couple pregnant women who have given birth to babies while they were infected. And I think I haven't followed all the cases, but the first one in China got the baby tested negative at first, and then later on, like 5 days later, they tested positive. And then the one that just happened tested negative as well. But I guess we'll have to see whether they test positive later. But apparently the disease doesn't affect children as badly. And it has very mild symptoms in children. So at least that's some good news so far, that it's probably not going to harm younger people. Yeah, it really sucks. Or you know what? Like, I feel bad for any woman who's pregnant or anyone who has a chronic condition, because do you really want to go to the hospital right now when there could be people who have the disease in the waiting room where you're going to be waiting, like, that's really scary. Or like, I know people who are pregnant now who are like thinking, like looking at their options of whether or not they want to go into the hospital to give birth because, you know, nosocomial infections, right? It's very easy to catch another disease while you're in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, I was so scared that my IV line would get infected, because that happens. Like, your IV line will get infected and you can die of sepsis. And you would have been fine if you just didn't go to the hospital. So hospitals are super scary, and this like outbreak could make them even scarier. Yeah, my papa got a chest infection when he was recovering from surgery after his heart attack in the hospital. It was scary. Yeah, that is terrifying. I was so scared of getting a secondary infection while I was in the hospital with like something else completely unrelated. Side note, the doctor thought I had gonorrhea, but I didn't. I don't know if that's relevant at all, but she like insisted that I had gonorrhea. She was just like, you need to be more careful. And I'm like, I don't have gonorrhea. And my dad was there too. And she was just like, I know you have it. Like, you don't need to be embarrassed because your dad's here. Just like, you need to be careful. It's like, we can treat it. And I'm like, I don't have it. And then the test came back negative. I didn't see her after that. I was concerned when someone close to me was recovering in the hospital that they might catch something, right? I'm even afraid of going into the doctor's office, being in that waiting room with like all the people coughing and sneezing around me. Like, just catching a cold is not fun, right? Just catching the flu is not fun. Like, when you're healthy, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm so grateful that my nose is not clogged, that my throat does not hurt, that my, like, all my organs are working properly, because, like, being sick is the fucking worst. I'm thankful that because of being disabled, my pharmacy brings my medication to my door so I don't have to go collect it. Imagine having an accident in a quarantine town. Right. There's been reports out of China that people have been dying of heart attacks. Somebody in Korea died because no hospital would accept their transfer because they were all being used to treat COVID-19 patients, or their ICUs were full. And they tried to go to 7 different hospitals and then they died. Like, that's going to be a huge issue if this gets bigger wherever you are. Because, I don't know, like, what if you get into a car accident? What if you, slice your hand with a knife? What if you just fall down the stairs? What if you get sick with literally anything else that could possibly happen? You're not getting into the hospital. You're not getting to see a doctor. You're just going to either have to, like, suck it up or die. Because, like, and that's really concerning to me, right? Because as someone who is not sick, who is very healthy, it's hard for me to imagine a situation where that happens, because I'm not used to dealing with stuff like that. But I don't know, what if you need gastric or what? Like, what if you need heart surgery? What if you need anything else? And all the doctors and ICUs and surgery rooms are busy treating coronavirus patients. I guess it sucks for you. You don't get medical attention. Yeah, that's why I feel like people aren't seeing, like, the full picture, right? Sure, maybe you're not going to get it. Maybe if you get it, you're going to be fine. But what if you break your leg? What if your friend breaks their leg and they can't see a hospital? What if your mom, I know several recovering cancer patients. Their immune systems are weak. Their bodies are weak. What if they need to go back in for treatment? They're not going to be able to. They're just not, if it gets bad here. Papa had difficulty getting transferred for his bypass surgery after his heart attack, and that was before the virus reached the UK. Yeah. When I had to go to the hospital, I had to wait 8 hours until I could get transferred to a hospital from the urgent care clinic. Imagine if there was a huge outbreak going on. This is like in the middle of the night on some random day. Also, because of the U.S. dependence on Chinese medical supplies, there could be serious problems even if there is no outbreak in the U.S. He had to wait 3 days after having a heart attack. Dude, that fucking sucks. That's what I like. You know, our hospitals, they don't just have like a bunch of empty rooms and like doctors who have nothing to do waiting around for stuff like this. They're already working at full capacity. And you want to add in like dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of patients. That's not going to be a good time. They just left him waiting and end up getting an infection as well as a sickness that caused other issues. That really, really sucks. That's really terrible. That waiting time is ridiculous. Luckily, after 2 full weeks, he was back home to recover. That's good. I mean, right, like a lot of medical supplies and medications are made in China. And China is not working at full capacity. Ergo, we're not going to have all the supplies we need. We're not going to have like masks that we need. Excuse me. Where I live, the waiting is not much, thank God. But I mean, like, do you think they could take 100, 50 new cases, 100 more cases? People who need ICUs, which are like the most intense type of care, ventilators. There's not that many in the area in one hospital. Some of them only have 1 or 2. I'm struggling to get my medication because of Brexit. I don't need the virus causing more issues on top of that. Right. Yeah, imagine if there was no medication to even give you. I kind of feel lucky I live here because healthcare is pretty quick here in the north, but at the same time, I don't because the virus is right out the door, Lamau. Yeah, I mean, like, when the hospitals get overwhelmed, that's when people die. That's when people die that don't have to die from the virus, right? But, like, if you need a ventilator, and a ventilator could have, like, kept you alive long enough to survive, but all the ventilators are full, then, a normal illness caught at a time when the hospitals are not completely full wouldn't have killed you. But in the middle of an outbreak, it will. Hospitals getting overwhelmed also results in overworked nurses and doctors, which has led to accidents and making everything worse. Right, definitely. And also, doctors have been dying in China. So many doctors have died. I think at least 5 doctors have died so far, working through this outbreak. This problem has always existed, and I'm surprised no one thinks about fixing it. Yeah. Well, people think about it, but then they realize it costs money, so then they don't. Will the air kill you? It's expensive, to be fair, like really expensive. Right. And that's why it's important to slow down the spread, right? Because I don't think you're ever going to be able to like keep it contained at this point, like, and not have it spread any further from where it is. But I think what you can do is if everyone, washes their hands properly and keeps from getting it, so they keep from spreading it, then like instead of having cases go like this, then maybe cases will go like this, like at a manageable level where the hospitals can still take care of it, and still provide good care to everyone who needs it. But you just don't want cases going like this. And then now there's a bunch of people who need care and they can't get it, and then people die, and like that's bad. And then it goes down like this, and now you have so many free beds, but you can't get people's lives back. And I think that's why it's really important to be able to do everything you can to slow the spread. Because I don't want to see people dying who don't have to. People that we can save with our, like, I want to be able to use all the medical advances we've made over the past 100 years to help people. And if all the hospitals and doctors are overwhelmed and they just can't help people, then, bad things are going to happen. Really upsetting things. I don't want to see that. I know my voice isn't very loud and it doesn't go very far, but I want to make like whatever difference I can. Shout. Yeah, that's why I'm here trying to learn about what people think about it. Oh, and talk with you guys. I like talking about this with others because I've been keeping it inside for so long that it feels really nice to be able to say it out loud and have people who care. And I know you care very much about the outcome of this. And unfortunately, that's because you are in the middle of things. Even if we can only help one person in our life / online, then it was worth it to use our voice. And I believe that, which is why I'm going to be making this video tonight, and I will get it out no matter what. And I will try to reach as many people as I can. Yeah, of course. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you very much. And I hope everything goes well for you. Do they prioritize older people for treatment because they're more vulnerable? Yeah, stay safe. Please stay safe. Stay safe and healthy. Actually, I have seen some articles about like medical ethics. Like if a child and an elderly person both need a ventilator, who should go on it? I don't really know what the policies are. I think if someone's already on a ventilator, they won't take them off until the family gives an okay. But I don't know. I really, how do you even make that choice, right? How do you even, but people in China are making that choice constantly. Like, who's more worth saving? Is it the person who has a higher chance of living? How do you even know that? I think in a situation like that, the child is prioritized, but they shouldn't take it from someone else who was using it. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, if a child and an elderly person are here, there's only one ventilator, what do you do? If an elderly person's already in the ventilator and then a child starts to need one, what do you do? There's so many questions, and people are going to die if there's not enough intensive care resources. People will definitely die from non-virus related things. People will die people need ventilators all the time. Just normally in their lives, from other types of infections and things, right? I actually studied this sort of stuff back when I studied ethics in school, and it's always a child who's prioritized because they have a higher chance of surviving and having a life ahead of them. I'm sure the elderly person would give it up for a child. Yeah, but the thing is, both of these people are unconscious, right? You don't know what they want. You have to make a decision for them, and that is so complicated and so difficult. Nobody I know will talk about it, and also they don't know much or even really care. That's the same position for me, and it's been really frustrating because I just want everyone to be healthy. I've started talking about it with people I know in real life. I don't know how seriously they're taking it. I think some of them might just be trying to be polite and listen to what I'm saying. But, if 1 out of my 5 friends gets supplies and that they wouldn't have before, then that's enough for me. I can only do my best. You have to prioritize the survival of our species, and thus the younger ones get a higher priority. Fair enough. Maybe you should sign something before saying that they would give it to a child instead, IDK. Yeah, but do you really want to think about that? What if you, get into a car accident and then you're just incapacitated and they put you on a ventilator because you're in a coma? Then you never get the chance to make that decision. I feel like a lot of people who end up in those things, they don't really think about themselves getting there, right? I mean, I certainly don't, even though I have a chance of getting hit tomorrow and having to be put on life support, right? I don't know. I don't know. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, cool. I think I'm going to end that here for now. I'm going to finish out my script and put that video out. So thank you guys all so much for taking me seriously and having a nice level-headed discussion about this. I truly, truly appreciate it. Okay, yes. Thank you all so much. And I hope everyone has a safe, healthy evening. And if you feel compelled to, please look up more information and inform yourself about, what's going on with the virus. I'm not saying to panic, go out and cry about it in the streets, but stay informed. Things change very quickly, right? If anyone wants to join our Discord, please join the Discord group. We're all very friendly. Good night, everyone.